Remember when frozen vegetables used to be just vegetables? No fancy claims, no misleading promises, just honest frozen goodness. You'd grab a bag, steam them up, and that was dinner. Simple, easy, done. But something has changed. Quality seems to be slipping right alongside the price. You'll find bags promising garden fresh taste but delivering limp, watery disappointment that barely resembles actual food. Here's the thing, just last week I tried one so soggy I thought someone had left a salad out in the rain for 3 days. If you're not careful, you might end up with an entire dinner ruined by a bag that's supposed to be convenient, not a culinary disaster wrapped in plastic. So let's talk about the 6 frozen vegetables that have disappointed, surprised, and ultimately made us rethink what's actually worth buying. Spoiler alert, some are surprisingly decent, while others taste like they've been frozen since the Cold War. Smash that subscribe button because we're about to save you from some seriously disappointing frozen veggies. Number 6, Bird's Eye, Steam Fresh Broccoli Florets. The gold standard in the frozen veggie aisle. Bird's Eye's Steam Fresh Broccoli Florets actually deliver on their promise. Compared to the others on this list, this broccoli doesn't turn into a soggy green mess the second it hits heat. What you actually get is steamed broccoli florets that maintain a satisfying crunch and don't collapse into mushy paste. The taste is earthy with a slight sweetness, nothing artificial or generic about it. The florets hold their structure, which is a near miracle in the frozen aisle where everything else turns to wet paper. 25 calories, 30 milligrams sodium. That's 1% of your daily intake, which means you're not turning this into a sodium bomb disguised as health food. The price sits at $2.50 for a 12-ounce bag. Yeah, it's more expensive than the bargain bin options, but you're actually getting broccoli that tastes like broccoli instead of freezer burn disappointment. Reviewers consistently praise the texture, saying it's the closest frozen broccoli comes to fresh without the hassle. And get this, the florets don't go limp after 30 seconds of cooking. They maintain that crisp bite you'd expect from a vegetable that hasn't been sitting in a warehouse freezer for 6 months. Bird's Eye knows health-conscious consumers want convenience without sacrificing quality. The cynical angle? They've actually delivered a product that doesn't taste like cardboard, which is rare enough in frozen vegetables to make this the flagship product. Bottom line, you're paying $2.50 for broccoli that won't turn your side dish into a mushy pile of regret, worth every penny. But not every Bird's Eye product hits the same standard. Number 5, Bird's Eye Steam Fresh. Cut green beans. Bird's Eye's Steam Fresh. Green beans promise fresh tasting vegetables with steamable convenience. But here's where it gets tricky. These beans have a nasty habit of going from acceptable to limp and watery faster than you can check your timer. What you actually get is frozen green beans that look promising in the bag but often come out like wet noodles. The texture is where these fall apart, literally. They lack the crisp snap of fresh beans, instead giving you a soggy, rubbery bite that feels more like chewing on wet rubber bands. The taste is mild bordering on bland, with a slight bitterness that doesn't add anything except disappointment. Nutritionally, we're looking at 35 calories and 80 milligrams sodium, which is 3% of your daily intake. Not terrible on paper, but when the texture makes them borderline inedible, those numbers don't mean much. The price is $1.50 for a 10-ounce bag. Average for the convenience, but you're getting below average quality. Reviewers consistently mention the texture problem, calling them too soft or downright mushy after cooking. The real kicker is that these are better than bottom-tier frozen beans, but that's like saying they're the best option in a lineup of terrible choices. Bird's Eye positions these as quick and easy, leaning hard on that Steam Fresh brand recognition. They're banking on you being too busy to notice that convenience doesn't equal quality. You're paying $1.50 for green beans that turn into soggy, limp disappointment if you so much as glance at them wrong. If this is already saving you from a bad meal, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. But if you thought those green beans were disappointing, wait until you hear about their corn. Number 4, Bird's Eye Steam Fresh Super Sweet Corn. This one has been around forever, but it hasn't aged well. Bird's Eye promised microwave convenience with their Steam Fresh technology. No mess, no fuss, just sweet corn. But despite the convenience factor, you're getting a chewy, artificial tasting bite that feels more like diet theater than actual corn. What you actually get is frozen corn kernels in a microwave-ready bag that sounds great until you actually eat it. The kernels come out overly soft and sometimes sticky, like they've been sitting in syrup. Not the crisp, juicy bite you're hoping for. The taste is mildly sweet, but overwhelmed by an artificial aftertaste that lingers. Here's the thing, these kernels overcook faster than you'd think, turning into mushy, wet corn paste. Nothing like the satisfying crunch you get from corn on the cob. 70 calories, 90 milligrams sodium. That's 4% of your daily intake. Not catastrophic, but considering the flavor profile reads like generic corn flavored product, it feels excessive. The price is $2 for a 10-ounce bag, which isn't expensive, but you're definitely not getting premium corn. Reviewers say it's easy to prepare, which is the only compliment anyone can muster. The taste and texture leave everything to be desired. The microwaving method leads to inconsistent cooking, with some kernels rock hard while others dissolve into mush. They're banking on that quick meal appeal, knowing most consumers will choose speed over quality when they're staring down a Tuesday night dinner deadline. You're paying $2 for corn that doesn't deliver sweetness or texture. It's a quick fix that tastes like it. And if you're finding this ranking useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Now we're entering territory where things get genuinely frustrating. Store brands love to promise big and deliver small. Number 3, our family frozen crinkle-cut carrots. Our family's frozen crinkle-cut carrots promise crispy texture and fresh taste at a budget price. But despite the fancy crinkle cut that's supposed to help with cooking, these carrots turn out mushy and limp. What you actually get is crinkle cut carrots that look decent until they hit heat. The texture falls apart immediately, with mushiness creeping in even when you follow the directions perfectly. The taste is sweet but completely bland, lacking any natural carrot flavor. It's like eating orange-colored mush with a vague suggestion of vegetable. The crinkle cut shape does absolutely nothing to prevent the overall sogginess. The numbers, 35 calories, 100 milligrams sodium. That's 4% of your daily intake. Low calories, sure, but when the flavor and texture make you want to skip eating them entirely, those stats are meaningless. Price-wise, it's $1.50 for a 12-ounce bag. Affordable, but you're getting what you pay for, which is basically carrot-shaped disappointment. And get this, reviews are packed with complaints about mushiness and bland flavor. People keep buying these because they're cheap, then act surprised when they taste cheap. Our family offers this as a simple, affordable option for families looking to save money. They're banking on price-sensitive customers who'll sacrifice quality for a lower price tag, even when the product is barely edible. At $1.50 for mushy, flavorless carrots, you're paying for convenience wrapped in mediocrity. And somehow, it gets worse, because even premium brands can drop the ball. Number 2, Bird's Eye, frozen broccoli. Frozen broccoli is a staple in the freezer aisle, and Bird's Eye is one of the most recognizable brands. However, even though it's marketed as a healthy side dish, it consistently fails to deliver. Wait, didn't we just praise Bird's Eye steamed fresh broccoli at number 6? Yeah, we did. That's what makes this so infuriating. What you actually get is frozen broccoli florets that promise ease but deliver mush. If you overcook these even slightly, the broccoli becomes limp and soggle, which is a massive letdown for a vegetable that's supposed to be nutritious. The taste is earthy and bitter, but not in the good, natural way. The frozen process seems to strip out any real flavor, leaving you with generic green vegetable taste. 25 calories, 30 milligrams sodium, which is 1% of your daily intake. Nutritionally decent on paper, but when the taste makes you not want to eat them, those numbers are irrelevant. The price is $2.50 for a 12-ounce bag. Not bad if you're getting quality, but given these texture issues, it feels like throwing money at rubbery green florets. People consistently complain about the mushiness and dull flavor. It's not the healthy vegetable side you hope for. It's whatever passes for broccoli after being frozen too long and processed without care. Bird's Eye built their reputation on frozen vegetables that promise simplicity and health benefits. But here's where it gets tricky. They're betting on health-conscious consumers who don't have time to cook fresh broccoli while delivering a subpar product that coasts on brand recognition. You're paying $2.50 for something marketed as fresh, but tastes soggy and flavorless, which brings us to the absolute worst offender in the frozen veggie game. Number 1, Giardino frozen mixed vegetables. Giardino's frozen mixed vegetables are marketed as the easy go-to choice for a quick side dish. But when you open the bag, it's more mystery meat than nutritious vegetable mix. This is where the frozen veggie aisle truly becomes a minefield. What you actually get is a chaotic assortment of peas, carrots, corn, and green beans where the quality varies wildly. The peas are mushy little balls of regret. The corn is too firm and rubbery. The carrots are soggy and limp. It's like playing vegetable roulette where every option loses. The taste is bland and watery, with flavors that compete to see which can be more disappointing. The mixture is inconsistent in the worst way. Some vegetables come out overcooked and falling apart while others stay half frozen in the middle. 60 calories, 190 milligrams sodium. That's 8% of your daily intake for watery vegetable mush. The price is $1.50 for a 1-pound bag, which sounds like a steal until you realize you're sacrificing taste and texture for affordability. You're essentially paying for disappointment by the pound. Reviewers describe it as bland and soggy, with some joking it's more of a mystery mix than a vegetable blend. Most ingredients are processed and frozen without concern for how they'll taste when you actually eat them. Giardino targets budget-conscious families looking for cheap, quick meals. They're banking on people buying based solely on price, knowing the quality is garbage, but also knowing you'll buy it anyway because it's cheap. They're not trying to make good frozen vegetables. They're making the cheapest ones that still technically qualify as food. You're paying for a mystery veggie mix that's as disappointing as it sounds. When the best compliment is, well, it's cheap, you know you're dealing with a product that exists purely to fill freezer space. The frozen vegetable aisle is a battlefield. Some bags deliver actual nutrition and flavor, while others deliver watery mush wrapped in false promises. From the bland, soggy disaster of our worst pick to the surprisingly decent broccoli at the top, these frozen vegetables couldn't be more different. Here's the thing, cheaper isn't always better. Don't be fooled by fancy packaging or marketing claims about garden fresh taste. Freshness and texture matter, even in the frozen aisle. You can actually taste the difference between a vegetable that's been frozen properly and one that's been sitting in a warehouse losing flavor for months. Bottom line, read the reviews, check the sodium content, and don't settle for mushy vegetables just because they're convenient. Your taste buds deserve better than culinary punishment disguised as a side dish. Frozen vegetables should make your life easier, not turn dinner into a disappointing experience. Hit subscribe if this changed how you'll shop for frozen veggies, and drop a comment telling us which ranking you think we got wrong.